Hey, welcome back to the Disney Plus Everyday Challenge, and today we have The Other Me. The Other Me is obviously, as I said yesterday, it was going to be about clones. But I didn't know who was being cloned, and it turns out it's Andrew Lawrence, little brother of Joey Lawrence, which you would remember from television maybe if you were old enough, on Blossom. But Andrew Lawrence is a perennial Disney Channel star. He shows up every so often in these Disney Channel movies. In this case, he turned out to be a kid who doesn't want to try at all. He's not a super genius, not a secret super genius anyway. He's just kind of not getting along with people, certain kids at school. He is not doing well in school, and he basically he orders sea monkeys. They don't call them sea monkeys. They call them something else, something pups or something. I don't know, sea pups. Anyway, sea monkeys. He orders that essentially from a company that just happens to have two scientists working in the lab attempting to clone things, and they just succeeded. And of course, something happens in the lab when they walk out of it, where something mixes with something else, and oops, we got a problem. It drips on the package of sea monkeys that his character Will orders, and it arrives just as it arrives, and then he's basically trying to pawn this off as his science experiment for school, which is kind of important for his grade. Otherwise, he gets sent to military school, which is like a threat in like every Disney Channel movie. If a kid is slacking, he's gonna be sent to military school. Was this a thing? Like, commonly a thing that suburban middle class families were just like, you know what? You're screwing up in school, going to military school. It's just the way it is. I don't know. Either way, he decides some of his DNA gets in their hair. He put accidentally a piece of his hair, little sprig of hair gets in the experiment he does, and almost instantaneously, a clone of him emerges. Now, this clone looks just like him, and of course, the reaction is when he arrives, stark naked, in front of him, and they're looking at each other. They both do the Disney Channel where kids always do that. That's how you know there's trouble, and that it's funny trouble when they start going ah. Yeah, long held shots of children either screaming toward the camera or at each other is the Disney way. This is the way. Anyway, so he realizes that this version of himself, it also isn't very bright. He's like a newborn baby, but can communicate. He sets him aside for a while, and as he tries to go about his business, and he starts absorbing everything on TV, and of course that's how you learn, and he learns how to dance really cool. He learns about science and things like that. So he also becomes super smart. He starts absorbing all this stuff. And of course, once you have a clone of yourself, the second thing you always do, I'm not going to talk about the first, the second thing you always do is send them off in your place to do all the things you don't want to do, like school. Well, the clone takes off and decides that he goes to school, meets the friends, he discovers pizza, which is the greatest thing he's ever tasted. He begins dancing at lunch for some reason, to no music at all. Everybody looks at him weird, and somebody has a boombox and plays the music, and then they all join in dancing, and he's the coolest kid in the world. And then he gets detention. He doesn't understand the rules of society, apparently, Anyway, he makes a name for himself, and suddenly he is one of the coolest, if not the coolest kid in school. Now, the original Will doesn't know any of this, doesn't know how to handle any of this. He's at home just playing video games and eating popcorn out of the microwave he moved into his room. And Yeah, and so there's this little struggle where suddenly he realizes that he's becoming really popular through no effort of his own. Of course, the scientists who realized that this experiment that they had working on had been compromised, um, well, they hunt him down. So there's a running thread throughout this. They're looking for Will and whatever he cloned. They don't realize it's himself, and that there's a ticking clock. That's the only thing they know. There's a ticking clock on this clone, that it will revert to whatever it was, the sea monkeys or whatever, in a certain amount of time, after so many days, if he doesn't drink this special glowy liquid. Which, okay, I don't know. Anyway, yeah, there's ticking clock. There's a little bit of tension. There's, again, it's a Disney Channel movie, so there's a certain amount of things the character has to learn, and he has to learn responsibility. Not only is the clone doing great in school, like taking tests, boom, knocking those out, getting great grades. He also doesn't realize that the nerdy girl with the really small voice isn't somebody the original Will is not attracted to or interested in. So when she asks him out to the dance, he asks if the pizza will be there, and she's like, I'll bring some. He's like, okay, I'll go with you. So Will gets a date with the girl he doesn't like, which she's a sweet, pretty girl, but again, he doesn't like her necessarily that way. It's a whole mess of trouble. I'm telling you way too much about this, because odds are if you didn't already watch it, you're probably not going to watch it. It's not that great of a film. But it's pretty much, it's not horrible either. It's closer to horrible than good, but let's just say that. It's what you kind of expect from this Disney Channel movies, starring teenage cutie heartthrob boy hunks. And there's 2 of them now, so double your trouble if you're into that sort of thing. So yeah, there's a big, like I said, there's a big ticking clock. There's a lot of conflict. There's the reveal of who you really are, and that the clones and everything else. Of course, it has to happen. You can't hide it forever. How it works out with his friends, how it works out with his family, how it works out between the 2 of them. Will he survive? Will the clone survive? And should he survive? And yeah. And what are they going to do if he does? What would they do? All those questions are answered by the end of the film, which by the way, this came out in 2000, the year 2000. I was very insulted by it, because at the very end of this movie, it recommended that I watch Quint. No, I've already done that. You don't know, you should know that by now, because you've seen Disney Plus. You should see that stuff I've already watched. But you're recommending Quint, which is also a year 2000 film, which sucked. This is an hour and 27 minutes long. It felt a lot longer, but yeah, made it through. If you like Andrew Lawrence, by the way, I gotta mention this, because you see here the little blonde right here. That's Alison Pill. That's little Alison Pill. You know her from Scott Pilgrim vs. the World, and also most recently Star Trek Picard, as one of the main characters. She's the second build after Patrick Stewart. So yeah, Alison Pill's come a long way. So yeah, Mark Taylor plays the dad. He's the dad in everything. You've seen him a million times. It's a character actor. He's that guy right there. He's a character actor, who, yeah, he's a solid TV dad who comes through flying colors, usually perplexed, but, firm but kind in his delivery. He's never like a mean kind of guy. I don't have an experience him being a really mean dad. He's usually just even-handed, even keel. He seems like a good guy, even though wants to send his son to military school because of bad grades, which again is apparently a threat. And yeah, I don't know, I would be threatened by that too. But I don't see how this is common unless the kid is like criminally bad. Like, not, I don't think him going to military school is going to improve his grades. It'll just crush his spirit, sure, but it won't shape him up. If he's amongst the other kids who are probably criminals that they send there often. At least in my experience in watching movies and television shows. And also, the mom is played by Laurie Hollier. She is just smoking hot. I'm just going to tell you that. That's my takeaway. She plays a more tree hugging mom in this. She makes all this horrible like tree bark and I don't know, rutabaga, other stuff, kind of dinners that everybody hates. That's her whole bit, really. She's sweet and understanding, but she's smoking hot in this thing. I'm just, not to, objectify her by any means, but they dress her up in this really just kind of hot mom way. And I'm not going to say the acronym, because that would be rude. But, yeah. There you go. That's my review. Mom's hot in this one. Yeah, The Other Me is on the Disney Plus. And that's about all I can tell you. If you're not into these kind of things, you're not missing much. But hey, if you want to check off every single Disney Channel movie from this era, you gotta watch this. Yeah, so have fun with it. Let's pick tomorrow's episode. What are we gonna watch next? 43. Ooh, way down. We may have already had this one. No, we didn't. We had 42 and 44. And they were, what were they? Babes in Toyland and Bambi. So this is a B, and it's a movie, and it's Bad Hair Day. 43 is Bad Hair Day. I don't know what that is. We'll have to see. Watch along with me, and we'll come back here tomorrow and talk about it. Bad Hair Day on Disney Plus, on the Disney Plus Everyday Challenge. I'll see you tomorrow.